Hey guys, welcome to DevOpsSchool. In this video tutorial, we are going to teach you about Jenkins, which is a very popular continuous integration tool. After going through this tutorial, I promise you that the concept and understanding of the Jenkins will be absolutely clear to you. But before that, let me ask you a few things. Are you dreaming of a career with higher pay and more responsibilities? Or are you ready to take your skills to the next level this year? Then start investing in DevOpsSchool certification level courses which will help you to emerge skills for a wide range of entry-level roles and as well as higher potential future positions. But with thousands of courses online and in classroom worldwide, finding the right one for your career goals can be difficult. You can consider our courses like Agile Developer, Agile QA, DevOps Certified Professionals, Site Reliability Engineering, DevSecOps, and Masters in DevOps Engineering, where you will have access to well-structured, easy-to-follow course content that has been developed and will be delivered by industry professionals. You can join on our training programs globally through online platforms, and if you are looking for classroom workshops, then we have regular sessions available in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi NCR, Mumbai, and in Pune. Simply compare our many courses, find the one that suits your style and schedule best, and start today.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about. So let's start it. So what is Jenkins? What is Jenkins? So we say, okay, Jenkins does CI tool. Now what is CI? So we say, okay, fine. CI stand for the continuous integration. Continuous integration. So now you need to understand what is continuous integration. Okay, what is continuous integration? Right? So I am not sure about it. How many of you have watched the video which I was suggesting everyone to 2 weeks before? I don't know how many of you have watched. I always mention like the understanding of the concept and the process is very much important. So if you have not watched this video, come to the DevOpsSchool.com. Okay, go to tutorials, click on the DevOps, and this is the video which I'm talking about, which you can see on my screen. DevOps Essential. Okay, this is somewhere close to 3.5 hours of videos, which mostly is a lecture, mostly it's a discussion, nothing technical, but understanding is important because you have enrolled for the DevOps courses, and before getting into the sort of tools, learnings, and things like that, you need to understand what is all about the DevOps, what is CI, what is CD, how this is impacting the organization, how this is beneficial for you, and many more things. And this video will talk about each and everything. And I am recommending this video for everyone. So please watch this. So just for time being, what I have to do, I have to define it. So if what is a continuous integration? So continuous integration is a process in which you do the continuous build. Okay, plus continuous build means automated build, automated continuous. Let's put it like this: automated continuous build plus automated continuous testing, and then immediate feedback. Okay, immediate feedback. So now you must be wondering why we need this one. So we define, okay, there is a process which we say like automated continuous build, automated continuous testing, and then immediate feedback, and this keeps on running in the increment, the recursive way. So then we can find out the health of our projects, whether the build is failing or test is failing, where the problems are, and then you can fix it immediately if you're getting the immediate feedback. So that's very much important, and these things we call it continuous integration. So now this in the simplest form, like automated build, automated testings, and then immediate feedback. But what about if we can elaborate this thing? So what is the meaning of the automated continuous build and continuous testing and immediate feedback? So let me elaborate it. So when here we talk about automated build, it's like this: automated static code analysis. Okay, then after that we do automated build, then after that we do that automated we do that automated unit testing, UT, and then after that we automated packaging. Then after that we do that automated deploy to repository. And when we talk about the repository, this repository has become Nexus, right? Nexus or Artifactory or something like that. And then from the Artifactory or Nexus, we deploy to automated way to the QA server. So we deploy to the QA server, and then we do the automated acceptance test. Acceptance test, which includes all sort of the testing, which includes like smoke testing, performance testing, security testing, alpha testing, beta testing, black box testing, white box testing. So whatever the sort of the testing, you know that is being called as a acceptance testing. And then after that, you run all this sort of acceptance testing, and if acceptance testing passes, also you accept automated code coverage. And then once everything passes, you do the immediate and you get it everything, and then you do the automated release. So the release, the moment is become a release, this is called continuous delivery. So we are not doing right now. We are talking about only till automated coverage. So now here, what are the tools will be involved? So if you look at it here, now in the automated static code analysis, we are going to need SonarQube. Okay. Now after this, okay, we are going to need Maven for the building purpose. For the unit test, probably if you are a Java based project, then you need a JUnit. If it's a .NET based project, you need a NUnit. Packaging, it can be anything: EXEs, jar, var, EAR, MSIs, APKs, sort of depends. Like, so in this demo, I'll be using jar sort of packaging. Okay, then here for the deployment to repo, so here I'll be using Nexus, where we can deploy. And for the deployment to the QA, you know that we can use Chef, we can use Puppet and things like that. And then you have acceptance testings, which can be anything like a QTP, Selenium, HP Quality Central, and many more things, many more tools we have it. And then code coverage, we have a Jacoco, Kabuchira, Covarity, and things like that. And this is the tools. So now you saw that these are the tools we use it. So now what we are discussing right now, we are discussing Jenkins. So we understood, okay, what is Jenkins? So we say like, okay, Jenkins is a CI tool. CI stand for continuous integration. Now you want to elaborate what is the CI, what is a continuous integration. Then you talk about, okay, continuous integration is nothing but is automated continuous build, automated continuous testing, and then getting the immediate feedback. This is a process which you call continuous integration. But if you elaborate all these three things, then as part of the build and testing, you have to do a lot of things. You know, you have to do static code analysis, you have to do automated build, unit testing, packaging, deploy to repo, deploy to QA servers, and acceptance testing, code coverage, and all these things. Okay, and on top of that, some of the extra things which you have to do is like integration with Git for the getting the source code management, integration with Jira for updating the tickets. All these things you do, and everything you do in an automated way. That is important. Okay, so now automated base. So now this stuff we call it a continuous integration, and now you are using Jenkins for the same thing. So any questions so far do you have before continuing further? Any questions, doubts? Okay, so now I'm going to talk about, so now if you here we are talking about so many tools. Here we are talking about the Git, we are talking about the Jira for the ticket management, we are talking about the SonarQube, Maven, JUnit, Jar, Nexus, Puppet, Selenium, Jaco. So many tools are there. So each of these tools some specific purpose. SonarQube will do the static code analysis, quality management, Namin will do the build stuff, JUnit will do the unit testings, Jar will help you to create a packages, Nexus will help you to store the packages, Chef and Puppet will help you to deploy the to the large number of machines, Selenium will help you to perform the acceptance testing after the deployment, and Jacopo will help you to find out the percentage of the testing which you are doing. And then getting all these things done in automated way and immediate feedback is a continuous integration process. So now let's back to the topics now. So if I redefine again, okay, what is Jenkins in other terminologies. So now I understood why we have this, why we call it Jenkins as CI tools. But again, if I help you to understand what is a Jenkins, so again you understood Jenkins is a CI tools, but also it is a free, it is open source. Okay, it is open source. It is it is empowered with thousands of plugins. Okay, thousands of plugins. Okay, why? So it's like this. It's a framework. It's a framework developed in Java for any technology, for automating any technology CI/CD process, CI process. Okay, so now you understood the Jenkins is a CI tools. It's a free, it's open source, it's empowered with thousands of plugins. It's a kind of framework developed in Java, but it can be used for any technology. Now you must be wondering, what is this plugin? Okay, so let me tell you, Jenkins by default comes with engine only which can understand the plugins. In a simple way, if I put it, okay, Jenkins, if you install the Jenkins and if you do not install the plugins, then you won't understand about, you won't get any features. So it's like this. Jenkins is a very open framework. Jenkins is like a kind of platform where if you want the features, you have to install the plugins. Okay, if you want any functionality, you have to install the plugins. So it's basically Jenkins by default without the plugins is nothing. Okay, Jenkins without the plugin is nothing, but the moment you empower the Jenkins with the plugins, then it start behaving like a boss. Okay, so that's important. So now so far we have understood what is Jenkins, why we need a Jenkins, why Jenkins, and now all these things I have explained to you, because you do the static code analysis using the SonarQube, you do the build management using Maven, you do the hell lot of other tasks also for the using different tools, but we need one tool which can integrate with every tool. That's a so you need a one tool which can integrate with any available tools whatever we have it, and who can do that? Only Jenkins. Jenkins can integrate with any tools and using plugins. Okay, Jenkins will help you to share the dashboard, share the updates about the development, about this project with the teams. Okay, so here you will not be able to share that log file or status and things like that of the Maven, JUnit, Jar, all this stuff with the teams, but these tools will create a kind of centralized dashboard. Okay, centralized dashboard for sharing the updates about the project with the team. Okay, this can send you the notifications also about incident, about anything which you are doing through jobs. Okay, anything. So basically it is a kind of tool which can integrate with everything. It's a kind of very rich UI, web-based tools. It can send you the notification. You can trigger the jobs. Okay, you can we can set that schedule is like this. As you can do CHE. You can do the schedulings. Okay, you can do the triggering based on the conditions. Okay, so many things you can do that, and that's the reason Jenkins has become a powerful. So now so far what we have understood, we have understood like, okay, what is Jenkins, why the Jenkins, what is CI, why the CI is important for a project, and things like that. Now let's explore how to install Jenkins. Okay, how to install Jenkins. So in order to install the Jenkins, first and important things you have to understand what is the prerequisite. So prerequisite is, as you know that I told you, is developed in Java. So the any project, any application which is developed in Java, the prerequisite is JRE. Okay, JRE. But I am going to install JDK for that, because JDK has a inbuilt JRE as well as development environment also. Why? Because we are going to need this JDK things as well. So you can install JRE 1.8 or JDK 1.8, anything will work out. So now you need a machine where you're going to install the JRE and JDK, and after that you can install the Jenkins. So now I am going to show you from here onwards the demo. Okay, so now I am going to need a machine. So let's grab the machines now, and machines I'm going to get from the AWS. Okay, so now I have to log into my account. Here it is. I am into the Mumbai region. I'm going to grab one server quickly, and I'm going to do all these things in RHA machine, and it's standard machine for all the organizations as well. So launching one instance, and I'll go with the Red Hat Linux 7.2, 4 GB RAM. One instance is okay. Adding storage 30 GB. Adding tags, security. Here it is. And then launching. And I don't know where I have a keys or not. So what I will do, I'll create a new one. So let's create a weekend and download this key and launch. So I got this machine up. Okay, I'm waiting. Meanwhile, I'll convert my PPK to PM to PPK using the partition. So conversion, import key, weekend.pm, and weekend. I got the PPK. Now I got the machine IP address by refreshing it. Here it is, and this is the IP address which I got it, and now I'm going to log in using putty. So locate my PPK which I needed to access the machine. So let me make this screen a little bit better and bigger font so you can see it better. Here it is, and now c2-user sudo -s and wonderful. Now this is the machine. I'm logged in as a root, everything I'm supposed to do that, and now I'm going to install this Jenkins. So as per the discussions, we have to install JRE or JDK. So as I have decided, I'll go with the JDK. So I have one articles complete Java installation ScmGalaxy, and ScmGalaxy has some typo. Yeah, here it is. And this is just a quick guide. Okay, so I don't have to search here and can get the command immediately. That is not getting loaded in this portal. So can you please open this article? Yeah, can you open this article, because for my browser there is some issues going on, so I'll have to fix it. So can you open this thing and tell me that yum command for the JDK 1.8, put it in the chat window so I can install it. Anyone? Go to that URL. Somewhere in the mid of the section you'll be having JDK 1.8 installation with the yum open JDK. So just tell me the command. Yeah, I got this command. Here it is, the command which I am going to install it. Yum install open JDK and enter. Here it is. So I'm going to install JDK now, and it's asked for the confirmation. JDK installed. So now I have got the JDK installed. It's almost done. Okay, so JDK installed. So JDK-V, I just verify. You can see that the version. So Java version 1.8.0. That is what I was needed. That's cool. So now I got this prerequisite done. Now I have to install the Jenkins. So Jenkins installation, there is a various ways in which you can install the Jenkins. Okay, so installation of the Jenkins instructions you can find on the jenkins.io website. Okay, so this is the official website. So just if you click on the download section, okay, here you can see this long-term support LTS Jenkins 2.6.0 and 2.7.0. So we have two releases which is going on. So let's try with the latest one, which is 2.71. Okay, now you can see that depends on the platform, you can install the Jenkins. So if you're using Docker, you can go with this. If you're using Mac, you can go with this. If you're using Red Hat, you should go with this. Or if you're using Windows also, you can go with this. But ultimately, you can install through WAR file also. So if you're running the Tomcat or JBoss or something, and if you don't want to install it from scratch, just download this WAR file, copy in the Tomcat directly, and automatically it will explode, and then you can get up and running. But right now I am having Red Hat Linux, which is here. So I'll just click on Red Hat Linux. Okay, and now just you have to perform these two commands, and last one is this is the third one. So the first command will add the Jenkins repository to your system. Okay, so Jenkins is located somewhere in the repository which is called pkg.jenkins.io. So I need to add this repository into the etcm.repos.d. So this command will automatically add it. So here it says this wget is not found. This server is very new to me because just I got it. So wget is one of the tool which is not available. So no worries, I can install it easily. Yum install wget and it will get installed. Okay, so now I got wget installed. I just click, and now I run the same command again, and now I'm getting added the repository where the Jenkins is lying, and it got added to this location, which you can see that. Now I have to add the keys of that repository also using the second line of the command. I just ran it and it's done. Now third and last command, which is nothing but yum install Jenkins. So I added the repository, I added the keys, and now I'm going to install the Jenkins. Okay, and it's saying confirmation. So now you see that's being downloaded. It will be very fast because I'm using AWS just because of the demo. We can save some time. If I do the same all these steps in my local machine, it will be damn slow because internet is not that great. And that's one of the advantages using AWS for the demo. You can save lots of time, and you can spend more on the tooling part and learning how to do that rather than installations, configurations, and sort of things. So 1 minute to go. So it's almost done. 94%, 95, and completed. So now I install the Jenkins. So if you see this switch Jenkins, now you can see that it's not installed in the system path still, but it's installed in the services. So if you go systemctl start Jenkins or status Jenkins, then it will come. See here. So now you see that if you type systemctl, which is the Linux RHL command to find out which are the services which is registered with the system, so this will tell you, okay, here this installation is there. You can see that installation is there, but it's as of now inactive. It's a dead. So what you're going to do, you're going to start the services. So start the services Jenkins. And cool, now you can see the status, and now earlier it was dead, now you see that it's running. Okay, so now system is running. So now if you want to know which are the processes are taking the Jenkins, just type ps-ef and type grep Jenkins, and then you see that here these are the important information you should know. So where is your Jenkins home? So if you see this environment variable which is running, your Jenkins home is var leave Jenkins. So this is the place where the Jenkins is installed. So where is a var file which is located? In this location you have a var file located. Where is a log file which will be written? This is the place where you have log file written. Which port it is running? 8080 port is running. Okay, so all this information are important. So now you have installed the Jenkins and you are running the Jenkins. Now you have to access the Jenkins. For the access the Jenkins, I just said it's running on 8080 port. So just click on this and 8080 port, and this is the page you will get it. So not everyone can continue. Only those person who has the keys located at this location shall be allowed to continue. So you shall go to this place and get the keys. So I'll go to here, clear the screen, more. I have got the keys, that means I am the owner of these installations, and I'll continue. Now, the moment you click on the continue, you'll be asked with the two options, and here you'll be asked like whether you want to install the plugins which is suggested by the Jenkins, or you want to go with the no plugins but you want to install, depends on your requirement. As I said, Jenkins is nothing without plugins, and Jenkins is being empowered by the plugins. So if you want to enjoy the Jenkins, you have to install the plugins. So for time being, probably we will install the more plugins once we need it, but we will go with the suggested plugins. So that way we will get the basic plugins and the visualizations will be much more strong. Okay, but if you are at the expert side and you don't want to install all the plugins, and you know that what are the plugins you needed, you can go with the second options also. But as of now, let's try with the install suggested plugins. So just click on it, and now these are the plugins which will be installed in Jenkins right now. So we install the Jenkins. Now we are configuring with the plugins, so it will be done in few seconds. And you can see these are the plugins which is in progress, is getting installed. Remember, Jenkins is all about the plugins, because if you want to add a functionality, and if you want to add a new features, you want to integrate the new tools, the only solutions you have, plugins. You have to install the new plugins for that.
Please enroll for our channel membership 399 plan to get access of all the parts.
So it will be done in few seconds. Meanwhile, if anyone has any questions, you may ask me.
So Rajesh, basically what all the tools, Chef, Maven, and Puppet can do. Jenkins is one tool that can do all those tasks.
So
Is that it?
Jenkins is a kind of front end. So using Jenkins, you are going to call all these tools. So I'll show you some of the demos, and then you can understand the overall. Sure. Jyotsna, I think there's some background noise coming from your side. Would you mind if you can mute yourself?
I have some problem. I wanted to ask a question, but it's like the problem.
Yeah. What is your question?
Yeah, the question is like recently I tried to install Jenkins and installing the suggested plugins. So by the time the plugins were getting installed, I got my VM powered off, and then when I restarted, I was unable to install the plugin. It's always saying Jenkins instance is offline, and then I restarted it. But again, I got the same problem, and my plugins were never installed. It's always failing, so I'm not sure what is the problem, and I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah. So what you can do, the approach is like stop the Jenkins services, okay, and uninstall the Jenkins. So the command is, if you have followed my way, install that using an RHEL. You can remove this yum remove Jenkins, and then you can install this and then follow the steps. Okay.
Okay. I stopped the services and started, but I did not uninstall. I will try that.
Yeah. So now after installing suggested plugins, we have got a page where we can set up the admin user. So my admin user, let's put it ADMIN. Password is ADMIN123. Confirm password ADMIN123. Full name is Rajesh Kumar. My email address is rajesh@of ScmGalaxy.com, and save and finish. Now have installed and configured the Jenkins. So the first time whenever you got into the dashboard, the Jenkins will look like this. Okay, and now you have to start automating the thing. So now what are you going to do here? So basically you're going to set up all these jobs, whatever we discussed, because Jenkins is meant for doing all these things, automated things, right? So whenever you start adding any project here, okay, any jobs here, sometimes you call it items, sometimes you call it jobs, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to do here, you have to follow the rules, and we call it Jenkins rules. These rules you have to remember on the Jenkins and creating the jobs. So now the first rule, where is your source code? Okay, here the source code, it can be Java, it can be .NET, it can be Perl, it can be Ruby, it can be Python, it can be Chef, it can be Puppet, it can be anything in a simple word. Okay, it can be anything. Okay, here it can be any source code. I don't care, but it's asking is where is your source code? So where it can have the source code. So normally you'll have the source code in the source code management tool like Git, SVN, right? SVN, TFS, CVS, all the tools like this, Perforce. So you have a source code in any of these places, but the technology, it can be anything. Now second rule, it says what is your builder. So now if you understand what is a builder, that means a build tool which can use to call this technology. So if you are talking about Java, then you know that Maven is a build tool which can be used. It can be used with the Ant also. If you are talking about the .NET, then it can be used for the MS build. It can be used also in Ant also. If you are talking about the Perl, then Perl is interpreter, so there is no builders required. So Perl is required the Perl itself. If you are using the Ruby again you require Ruby. Python again you require Python. Chef you require what? What is the builder you needed? So Chef required Chef-client. Again, okay, Puppet is also need something similar. So basically you need to understand a tool which we may call it builder or interpreter or something like that, which will be triggered to perform that kind of action on this technology. So now you figure it out, okay, what is your builder? And third rule, it says what is your compiler and sometime interpreter. Okay, so now you have to find out what is your interpreter. So if you talk about what is your Java compiler interpreter, it's of course JDK, or right? If you are talking about the .NET, so of course it's a .NET again. Okay, and if you need a Perl is an interpreter language, so you need a Perl installation. For Ruby, you got the Ruby installation. So you need to know 3 rules before setting up any jobs. Any jobs I'm talking about, no matter whether you are setting a job for the build, whether you are setting for the unit test cases, whether you are setting for the repository, whether you are setting for the anything like acceptance test and all, you should know what exactly, where is your source code, what is your builder, what is your compiler and interpreter. This rule will be applicable for setting up all the jobs. So now, so as part of the things, let's set up 2 jobs along with Maven. Okay, now second job Java along with and one more thing, so let's try .NET along with MS Build. This is the popular combination which we have to try. So now let me try. So for one thing which I needed, where is your source code? So I have one source code in the github.com. So if I go to my github.com, here it is. And I have one source code which is this is the source code. Okay, let's use this one. So right now I'm using Java along with them. So if you look at this source code, here is the source code and here is the pom.xml. So if you know that what is a pom.xml and all this, so already I have discussed in the last weekend classes. So what is a Maven and all. So those who have forgotten, please go to that recordings and just see that what is a Maven and all. So now this is the Maven pom.xml. This is the source code. I have source code in Git. So now what we concluded as part of the discussion is like, okay, my source, the rule as per the things, where is the source code? So the source code is in Git. You can have anywhere else. So next is what is your builder? So your builder is Maven. And next question is what is your compiler? So of course this compiler is JDK. In this case, in terms of AND, you have your builder is AND and compiler is JDK. And in this case, you have a source code in Git and your builder is MS Build and compiler is .NET. So these are the 3 jobs I am going to set it up now. Okay. So what I am going to do, click on my Jenkins. Here I click on the create a new job. Okay, and just I put it automated build, and I will always go with a freestyle project. Click OK. Now There you will find, the moment you click on the OK, you will find so many options. You have a 5 tabs: general, source code management, build triggers, build environments, build, post build actions. So for each section, each tab, there's so many other options. So you do not get lost in that. Okay, we'll talk about one by one slowly. So here if you look at that, my requirement is very simple. The Jenkins should be able to check out the source code from Git. So source code management tab, where is the source code? Git. What is the URL? This is the URL, and click on it here. Now I don't, this repository, which is a public repository, so I don't require the user ID and password. So I'm setting up none. But if the private repository, you have to set the user ID and password to extracting this. So now Jenkins will clone the source code and keep it in the workspace. That's one thing. Now I just save it and run it. And it got failed. So now you see that it got failed. Click on the build number 1. So you see that A build, the workspace is this one, and there's no files in it. Okay, why there's no files in it? Because the build is failed. Build number 1 is failed. If you click on the build number 1 and click on the log file, which is called console output, and you see that it has some error. So if you look at this error, if you read this error, it says cannot run Git. So now you must be wondering, okay, you had a plugins called Git, you had selected, but what is all about this cannot run Git program? So how it is, how Jenkins works, we need to understand little bit very carefully. So now what is happening? Jenkins is acting like a broker. Okay, so Jenkins is acting like a broker. So now what you need to do in order to build that job, the flow is like this. Okay, flow. If you do the manual things, so first step 1, check git clone URL. Okay, second thing is maven compile, if you remember that how the maven works. And then for running the git clone, first thing you have to do, install git, right? To running the maven command, what you have to do? Install maven. And then you can do this third action, which is git clone URL to get the source code, and fourth, mbn compile to run. So these are the 4 activities. If I ask you to compile the source code, which is maven, then you have to do this 4 actions. All this 4 action is being done by the Jenkins. Okay, so now Jenkins, if Jenkins is doing all these manual activities, then we have to do install Jenkins. Where you have installed Jenkins? So you have to install the Jenkins in the server where you have the system. So here, sorry, install Git. So now do you see that in the system there is no Git? So that's the reason you got the problem here. Git is cannot run program Git. What he's trying to do is, so if you look at this program, and here if you look at this command line, what he's trying to do is trying to do git init, this command is trying to run. Okay, he's trying to run this command. Okay, cloning the repository. So here he's trying to clone this repository, which is nothing but, which is here, but it's failed. Why? Because to run the git command, you need to have a git install in the server, but git is not there. Okay, so you can see this, which git, there's no git. So what you're going to do, you're going to run this yum install git, and now you install the git. And now if you see that which git, you got this git, bin git. So now install git is there. So now if you run this command, this job one more time after installing it, and now it had checked out, you can see that successful, the message success. Now it did get source code. Click on the workspace. Now you got the source directory pom.xml, whatever you had it here in the source code. So now what has happened? The flow is like this. Very simple to understand. Every time the flow is like this. Jenkins is a dumb tool. Jenkins is a dumb tool. Okay, so it is knowing nothing. So what you do? Install the plugins. So in this case, we install the Git plugin, which was already installed as part of the initial configuration. Remember, I installed the suggested plugin. So that process install the Git plugin. So this plugin, whenever you install the Git plugin, this plugin is not installing software, installing the commands. Okay, commands. That means the moment you install the Git plugins, Jenkins got all the Git commands. So now Jenkins has all the Git commands. So one of the commands which we require to get the source code is git clone URL. So now the moment you put it here, URL, let me configure the jobs again and source code. The moment you put the URL and save it, now Jenkins is trying to clone that URL and trying to copy the source code into the workspace, which is here. Okay, but the commands are there, git clone, but the executables are not there where it can run. So now you have to install the executable. So at the moment you install the executables, now you have executables, you have a command, Jenkins just ran it. That's all. So Jenkins has done the steps which you normally do manually, installing the Jenkins and then git clone URL to get the source code. Okay, so now it's been done by the Jenkins. So same thing which we were doing manually, got it done by Jenkins. It understood? Is it clear? The concepts? Any confusion? Clear?
Rajesh, I'm lost for 1 or 2 minutes because of my internet got lost. So when you got the error, you installed the Git plugin, right? So to get the build success.
Install the Git software, because the moment you install the Git plugins has the commands, all the Git commands, but Git commands required an executable to run it. So executables were not there in the system. So I installed the Git here in the system. So now Jenkins can run the Git commands which is there in the Git plugins with the help of executables and check out the source code which is required in the workspace, and we got the source code. Is that understood? Make sense? Jyotsna? Hello? Setu, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
So I have not done anything related to Maven. Okay, I'm just doing that only Jenkins, only Git. So now I'm getting the source code from the Git. I got it. Now what next? So I have got the source code. Okay, I have got the source code here. Now what next? So I have to build it. I have to compile it, right? So for the compilation, what I'm going to do, going to the configuration. So source code management is done. Just skip it, the build triggers, skip the build environment and go directly to the build tab. Okay, we'll talk about the build triggers and environment later. Okay, so now we'll go to the build tab, and what do you want to do? If you want to compile the source code using the Maven, then what is the goal you're going to call? So now if you see that the build section, which is the build tab, okay, you will find the lots of compiler. You can execute the Windows batch command, you can execute the cell, you can execute the ant, you can execute the Gradle, you can execute the Maven and all. So basically all these options, how come you got it? Because we install the suggested plugins. If your options are not there, let's say MS builds are not there, we have to install the plugins and we will do that. So now what you're going to do, you got the things, where is your source code? It's in Git, so I got checked it out. Now where is your builder? So it's in Maven, so you have to select the Maven, which is a builder. And now what is the goal you have to select? You have to select the goal which is compile, because to compile the source code you have to just to select the goal name, compile, and save it and build. And now again it got failed. So now you have to look at the error, console output, checkout happened very successfully, but the moment it ran the maven compile, that's a command, then it says cannot run program maven. So again you remember the same concept. Maven plugin you install with the Jenkins, then you got all the commands, but maven compile deemed executable, which is called maven, need to be set in your environment variable, but maven is not set. If you look at this here and if you type maven, you see that maven command is not found. Maven is not installing the software. So last time how did I install? I installed using yum install map git, right? Like this. But this is the system installation. One of the way to install it. But this time what I am going to do, I am going to use Jenkins as an installing platform. So using Jenkins also, you can install any number of tools. So I install the Git through system, but I am going to install the Maven executable through the Jenkins. So click on the Jenkins, manage Jenkins. Okay, manage Jenkins, all the administration sections will come. So here you have to look for this option, global tool configuration, where it says you can configure the tools, their location are automatically installed. So now I am going to install the Maven. So click on the global tool configuration and now look for this, what is the Maven section. So JDK section is there, Git section is there, Gradle section is there, AND section is there, Maven section is here. Now I can install the Maven using add Maven. Name of the Maven is Maven 1. Okay, and now you have two options. Either you want to install manually, then give the path here wherever you have copied the Maven directories. But if you want Jenkins to use as an installer, so click on the install automatically, select the Maven install version which you want to install, and automatically Jenkins will download from the Apache website and save it. And now you go back to Jenkins, build Maven. Again it's failed. If you look at the console output, it's the same error. It says Maven cannot run the program Maven. Why? So basically you have configured the Maven in the manage Jenkins global tool configuration, and which is here. You have configured it here, but you are not telling your jobs to use it that Maven. So what you have to do, you have to go to the configuration, and the moment you add the Maven in the backend, you will get the option enabled, which is like which Maven version you want to use it. So here you have a 1, because I did set it up 1. So you got it 1, save. And now if you build now, there is no problem. Console output, checkout has happened. Now Maven is trying to build it. Okay, it will take few minutes and it will be built. So now, any questions so far? Any questions so far? No? Okay, so now you see that these questions are very important. Where is your source code? What is your builder? What is your compiler? And every time, let me tell you, Maven works like a broker. Maven works like a broker. So Maven needs all the tools configured in order to, Jenkins will work like a broker. Jenkins required all the tools to be configured, and then only Jenkins will call everything. So in a nutshell, Jenkins is doing nothing. Jenkins is calling Git to checkout. Jenkins is calling Maven to call that compile, Maven will compile and things like that. So similarly, Jenkins will do nothing, but it will call everything. So that's the reason I said Jenkins is a front end. From the backend, it called Maven, JUnit, or Nexus, Chef Puppet, Selenium, Jacopo, and Sonar Cube code to do everything. But from the front end, it would like everything is being done by Jenkins. Now you see that it should be over, but let me check it out. What is the problem? here we have some error. So the problem is like a compilation error. So what is the problem? It says no compiler is provided in this environment. Perhaps you are running GRE rather than JDK. So that's issues I was doubting, because the moment you share this one, which is OpenJDK, this one, I was doubting probably this is having not the proper JDK. This is the one which I installed last time, so it's probably is not having OpenJDK. So that's the reason. It says you have a not JDK, it's a JRE. Perhaps you are running a JRE or something like that. Okay, so this is the error. So what you have to do now, you have to set up the JDK. So let me set up the JDK. So yum, let me verify first, Java version, and here it says OpenJDK version, this one. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to set up a Java. So how can you do that? So this one download location, which you can find in the same page. Can you please give it to me? That's starting with a wget, Java 1.8. Can you give it to me, that command, same page? Anyone? Yeah, so now I got this command from the same page which I am using right now, and this command is this one. So basically it will not work just like that, because this URL has been changed. Okay, this URL has been changed. To get the new URL, I'll go to the Oracle website, Oracle download JDK 1.8. And here I accept this. Now what is my platform? My platform is Linux 64-bit, which is here. So I will get this one, or I am looking for the tarball, which is this one. So copy. This is the latest file. I'll just replace with it. That's all. And this cookies has to be there, otherwise this cookies means you are accepting the certificates. Okay, so now I will go here, and now I will go to the OPT location. Okay, and here I will download the package, and now you can see that it's downloading the packages. It will be done in 1 minute 40 seconds. So meanwhile you can ask any questions if you have it.
Hi Rajesh, I have a question about the and SSH directly into the instance.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the Jenkins session so far, please enroll for our channel membership. $3.99 plan to get access of all the parts.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $3.99 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.